in my craft, like I said, YouTube is my hobby because, like I said, I'm sober. I've been sober for a long time, coping with that and trying to be sober out here in society. When you know it's hard being a 9-to-5 worker, having a job, paying bills, and all that, getting taxed like crazy. You know, I use YouTube as my hobby. I've developed my friendships through YouTube, and you know, sometimes I try to show these kids, like, look, man, I did 15 years straight in prison. I didn't get in, go in and out like some of these repeated offenders. I did it straight, maxed out my first year on riots. And I came home with $200 and look where I'm at. I've been making over 105K the last 3 years on YouTube. Like, if I can do it, and I started from none, I came out from a prison cell, from a concrete tomb. Why don't y'all do that instead of just posting a picture with a pistol? Like, you get nowhere, but you're just gonna fill up my bunk. That's all you're doing.
Dude, that 105K per month or per year, that's amazing. I love to hear those stories about people who are really able to make something dope for themselves, like keep a job or like not necessarily even have it like be the focal point of their whole life and still be able to have like a crazy extra source of income. That's fire.
Yeah, my job pays me like $28 an hour. I work 10, 12-hour shifts Monday through Friday. But on the weekend, the moment I wake up, drink my cup of coffee, I'm right there just getting all these stories, making all these phone calls, editing all these videos. So by the time Sunday night comes and I'm getting ready for work, I got about 10 videos for the week. And I just keep doing that repeatedly until my videos stack up. And then once I have a lot, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop all these first while I study and look for other topics. So while I'm working, I'm still making money. I'm editing, and then the money just building itself, and I just save all that money.
So you haven't thought about going full time and quitting your job, or is?
I did when I left California. I did for like 4 months, and those were probably like my best months. But that was during a time when I was really clout chasing, and I don't want to become that no more. I didn't like the person that I became, and you know, I see other people do that when they make videos about other people when they really ain't got nothing going for themselves. I just told myself, what do I look like being a grown man sitting on a couch watching what another man does, and then I make a video about it, whether it's, you know, constructive criticism, whether it's making fun of them, talking down on them, or even positivity. Like, these people are out here making moves. That's why they're the subject matter. So even though I was making like 10 grand, 12 grand, 11 grand those months, full time would have to be something like promising. YouTube is not promising because, like I said, I've had good months and I've also had bad months. Yeah. Sometimes I make only 5 grand a month, and then there's times where people give me some content, and next thing you know, I'm making 8, 10 grand a month. Yeah. If I really wanted to, I would do it, but YouTube ain't my focal point. Having a career, having a retirement plan, that's my end goal. So I figured, like, I'm 38. This is a young man's game. But if I can do it like 2 more years, 3 more years, if I can get big like Swamp Stories or get big like, you know, what's that, War in Cali or or even Killer Chronicles. If I could do a video where you could just do one, get like 500,000 views, 1 million views, that's money right there. But I'm not there yet. So
yeah, at that point, it would probably be hard to keep the normal job. But I feel like I would say keep the normal job as long as possible, just because at a certain point, like if you're the kind of person that needs to like really make like at least 1 or 2 videos a day, that could just really kind of suck the fun out of it. And especially like there's a lot of great content creators who don't upload that much, but if they were to like really be profit maximizing, then they would be, you know, they'd be streaming all the time and they'd be making videos about people that they wouldn't normally make videos about just to, you know, get as much money as possible. And I feel like a lot of that might kind of suck the life out of a channel.
There was a time where I talked about it on my YouTube channel, but I was like, you know, I had talked to this one YouTuber, Flacco. He's in Arizona prison right now, but he was like, hey, don't get lost into this world. And I've heard it from other YouTubers. And they're like, don't get lost into this world because it's drama. So when I seen the drama happening with YouTubers against YouTubers, that's when I fell back. I was like, bro, what are we doing? Like, we beefing with each other when we supposed to be creating content. But then there was times when my son was born, when I wasn't working, that I was making 11,000, 12,000, but I wasn't spending no time with my son. I was literally like all day and all night. By the time I knew it, he was going to bed, and I didn't even hold my son. I didn't feed him. I didn't change his diaper. And I felt bad. I was like, man, I'm over here neglecting my son to talk about Swifty, to talk about this guy, talk about Crip Mag. I'm like, what the hell, dude? So I started falling back to where my weekends I dedicate to my kids. I do my videos from 11 to 1 in the morning. And then after that, hey, I put the phone down. I put the iPad down because I just do it with a simple iPad and an iPhone. and I go spend time with my kids. And if it ain't worth talking about, I won't talk about it. If it means I get only 3,000 next month, hey, 3,000 is better than 0. So I just take my time now. But if I really invested in my craft a little bit better and took more time on my videos, yeah, I might be the next Swamp Stories. I might be the next Warren Cali or Hood Archives, but I also have a job, and that's far more important because that's going to give me my house. That's my 401k I'm putting into. So I want to be a big content creator. It's just this gang and prison culture genre, this is dying. It's dying.
Yeah, and I feel like I've seen it sort of slowly dying for like 10 plus years because, you know, I remember when like Cali Muscle came out and it was like he's doing the prison spread videos and it's like brand new and they're doing millions of views. Yeah. And then as time goes by, it starts to really like flesh itself out, and all of a sudden you got people like 23-1, 1090 Jake, Pino, etc. All these people coming out and sort of like telling stories about themselves and shit that they seen in jail. But the truth is that is really like, there's only so much you can really do in terms of like, you know, like a race riot. It's like the craziest thing that most people could ever imagine even witnessing. But once you talked about it a couple times, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, a bunch of people beating each other up. What else? What else you got to talk about? And so somebody like 1090 is smart because he managed to like expand out of that and find his own lane, just talking about crazy up street shit in general, and, you know, touching on the rappers, everything like that. But it's, you know, it's difficult to find your own lane, and we kind of seen that over and over, where a lot of dudes who get success with the prison stuff, it's just not really meant to last unless they find a good way to pivot.
I'm trying to pivot right now. Like, I remember when 1090 Jake reached out to me. You know, he did a video one time, and you know, he mentioned me, so I thought that was cool. I got to talk to him only once or twice.
Oh, okay.
But I would love to be like 1090 Jake and just find my pivot. My pivot was, you know, I started off on YouTube talking about me because I was beefing with a lot of Northerners at the time. I was part of a gang. I was against Northerners at the time. And then throughout time, I started beefing with my own gang until finally my son was born. And I was like, bro, what am I doing, bro? Like, I got a blessing right here. YouTube money. And back then I wasn't making crap, but I still looked at it like, man, it's helping me with the rent. God damn it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to be a narcissist by talking about myself. Because, look, anybody that's been in these prison genres or does these prison crap, bro, there ain't no million stories to talk about. I've told my stories. I have some cool, like, war stories, like, you know, being in a cell with a homie and we did something funny or stupid. But to sit there and say, man, every day I was politicking, every day I was stabbing somebody, every day I watched people, man, that's a load of crap. It don't go down like that. I did 15 years in prison, and I was on some of the worst yards, and there's peace, there's quiet. People are having fun, writing letters. So I that's when I just said, oh, you know what? I'm gonna tell other people's stories. I'm gonna get into true crime because, you know, I used to watch a lot of true crime documentaries. I was like, let me do that, but from the gang aspect. And it's worked. It's not gonna work for long, but it's worked. For the past 2 years, all I've been doing is talking about gangs in LA, gangs up north, gangs in Washington. But it's mostly Northerners and Southerners, and even that's gonna reach a point and it has its limitations. So I'm at that point. It's either if I don't find something next to do that's gonna be fulfilling, then yeah, I'm gonna walk away from this YouTube like it was a blessing and thank you guys and try to do podcasting or something else. But I found my lane, but I still see that this new lane for me that I've done it better than most YouTubers is still a limitation, and I get tired of limitations.
So do you feel like why would the Northerner Southerner content kind of dry up? Just because you feel like you've covered so much of it, or do you feel like that in general is kind of dying out? No, right? That shit's gonna be around forever.
Look, I got content on just Southern California probably for the rest of this year, guaranteed.
Everything 420 really is that one-stop shop. Whether you're looking for your go-to gear or something new and unexpected, they got options for days, and they're always dropping mystery boxes and deals. The E420 app is clean, shipping is quick, and they literally have everything. Don't forget to use code NOJUMPER at checkout.